Morning, everybody. It is February 9th, 8:25 a.m. Um, Another nice day in the market. Pre-market plan kind of worked a little bit yesterday. I uploaded a short yesterday of that trade. Let's look at what's going on in the watch list here. We got Nasdaq up 1.05%. ES is up 0.68. Russell up 0.66. The Dow is up 0.56. Let's see. Bitcoin's down 0.46. The dollar is down 0.53. Crude is down 0.89. The VIX is down 1.58%, and the 10-year yield is down 1.89%. Let's talk about some leaders here. We got Tesla. Tesla is up 3.14%. Baba is up 3.14%. Snow 1.95%. Microsoft, a bunch of stocks are up. Um, any laggard to speak of is really only Google and Coin. The big story is Disney's earnings. And I believe his name is Bob Iger, is returned as the CEO, so he had some good results. Up 5.97% pre-market. Roblox, communications as well, up 2.4. We have Salesforce up 1.69. Qualcomm, any laggard, no laggard to speak of. And then let me just go to my sectors. I didn't have that up. We're looking at semis, strongest sector pre-market, followed by tech, and well, that just switched, but semis, tech, and discretionary. Okay, and no laggard really to speak of. Okay, crude is a little bit of a laggard in the futures, but it doesn't always lockstep with energy. Okay, we have jobless claims coming up at 8:27, at 8:30 a.m. Okay, so that's coming up. I'm gonna hit you with this really quickly while I get the browser set here for the news. So I'll go to this. We got 1 minute to this news. We're looking at, previous was 183. They're looking at 190, so they're looking for it to go up. Usually it doesn't happen like that because it is jobs market, but we'll see. That's coming out very soon in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Like I said, Disney is the darling of today. Overnight we had pretty much a nice push up, but let's see. We got about a minute. I can go over this daily chart really quickly. What do we have here? We have a lot of things going on here. We have that uptrend line that's still being honored. We still can't really find a footing below the 407, 408 area. We're holding above this 410. We are making lower highs consistently. Okay, but we're holding, so that's bullish in the meanwhile. Okay, now we got about what, 20 seconds. Let's look at this news drop. Let's see if this does anything. If it's a miss, the market's not caring about these numbers anymore because it just seems to always be stronger than expected. Okay, wow. It came in with more people filing for jobless claims. That's going to probably take the market higher. Let's look at that. Now, I don't know how much oomph this will have happen. I mean, it's 196. expected 190. It's not a monster. It's not really causing much right now. There we go, getting a little more of a push. Not crazy. Alright, well, we can go back to that. Alright, let's go and go right back to where I started before. Let's go right back to this daily chart. Okay. So that's what's going on. I also did an anchor VWAP. I'm really liking these anchor VWAPs just to give me some extra confluence. I did one here, this little white one. This is from the low of the FOMC. Or maybe it might have been the speech. No, it was the FOMC. So I anchored it from the low here. So currently yesterday we dropped below that volume weighted average price from that low. I know right now we're above it, so we have to see. Okay, let's look at the cues. Now, well, I mean, this is the story. I'm going to talk about this confluence right here. But what you could notice very clearly here is if you just looked at the 9 a.m. daily, it is just being supportive. Once, twice, 3 times now. As long as this 410 level, right? This trend line, so you got a lot of confluence here on this chart. So let's move over to the Qs. Qs also making lower highs, right? Downtrend here, but we're holding these higher prices, so that's more bullish. And also 9 a.m. daily being supportive, right? And we're above the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. This is also the anchored VWAP from the FOMC statement. We dropped below that yesterday, but we're above it now. And we have this long wedge that we had resistance here from back here, and that trend line, uptrend line here. Okay. And this 307 was a key resistance level. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at now. We're above all the moving averages. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. Now, if you look at the weeklies, okay, you can see the 307 level more clearly, right? Here is the resistance. We tried to get above it and tried to get above it again this week, and we keep failing. So we can look at the SPYs weekly. The 410 level, see how it's like we popped above it, almost went all the way up to this resistance level, tried again and got smacked. Right now we're at 414, so maybe today's the day. We'll have to see. Let me look at the monthly really quickly. See the monthly too, look at that, 3 eagle size candles pretty much, popped above it and we're back. So Qs probably have the same picture. Now the Qs really broke out of these monthlies. See how it's held it, and the SPY has not. The Qs have been stronger from the beginning of the year. All right, let's go over to the daily. So, and we check out this triple-headed monster now. And this is very key, okay? I've been talking about this. The 10-year yield held the 200-day moving average, broke out of this resistance level, and we're going higher, right? We continue to go higher. It's not going to bode well for equities, right? Let's look at the weeklies. So you can see we have weekly support here, we had weekly resistance here, and we popped above it. Okay, we hit this level and fell this week. So the monthly, you can see it's been in a definite downtrend. However, if we can start to make some swing lows here, this is not bode well for equities. Okay, so let's look at that VIX. Now the VIX did go over 20, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, see, so the VIX is high yesterday was 2012. You need to sustain above 2031 at least to sustain some lower movement. So we're back down again. So we got to keep an eye on that. Then we got the good old dollar. Dollar's getting some selling today, taking out yesterday's low. Okay, we're at 102 now. So we hit a high of 103.96, and now we're coming back to the 9 EMA daily. Have to see. This could just be a swing low that we move higher. Have to keep an eye on those. All right. Let's just move this back to the SPY, and we will go into the market profile. Just give me 1 sec while I bring that up. Now I'm going to point out there's a very important things that have happened, especially in the Nasdaq. Okay, and I want to point something out as well. I'm going to probably do it mostly on this chart. Okay, so yesterday I was saying that this most traded price of the week, which was 41.25, if we held it, okay, actually let's go to the real-time trading hours chart. Okay, so this is just what you would see if you looked at SPY on a daily chart. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bigger so everybody can see what I'm saying here. Okay, so I said yesterday, so this is the session prior with Pal's speech, right? And I said 41.25, and its demand zone is very key. I said if we could not hold, if we held it, I said you want it to go long. Now I'm not saying that macro wise, but this was intraday, right? So like when we came down, we came right down to it, went up, came down to it again, and then the market pushed up higher, right? I understand that we eventually went to Fed. There was a lot of negative Fed speak later in the day, and see what happened. Even though we went by it, we still couldn't take it out, right? The reason why this is so important is because with the overnight, where are we now? We're all the way up here in the overnight now. This level is just very strong. Okay, that level is very strong. So that's why price action can fool you a lot, like yesterday, right? You could think like, oh my god, we're gonna break down. This level's holding. Okay, now I'm going to show you one other thing that's part of confluence. Now there's so many pieces to this level. So you got the most traded price of the week, you had a demand zone here, you had the 9 EMA daily here. There's just so much confluence here. You have a trend line, and you have a fib. So check this fib out. So if I go from the low of the FOMC and I go to the high, you can see 50% retracement is right here as well. So 50% retracement is right here. What does that line up with? These levels from the FOMC. So, let's just say you're a supply and demand only guy. Well, you have a demand zone here. Let's say you're a guy who looks at most traded prices. Well, your level's here. Let's say you're a guy who only looks like moving averages, 9 EMA daily. Let's say you're a trend line guy. Well, you have a trend line. It's pretty nuts, right? So that's why I said yesterday, I like to do everything because you get extra confluence, right? But that's why this level's so important. It's so important. It's everything. That level's so important. It's the tipping point of where we're going to go. Okay? Now, I'm going to bring you over to the Nasdaq's real-time trading hours. Now, something very important happened there. Let's make this bigger. Something very important happened. Now, what that is the most traded price of the month and of the most traded price of the month and the week are now equal. They're together. What's that price? 125.50. So this price now basically means ultimate balance. A huge move is about to happen from this level. So that's, if you ever listened to me before, this is a spring just coiling and coiling and coiling, and when you coil and coil and coil and coil, it's gonna expand and it's gonna cause a huge move. Okay, so the rolling month most traded price and the rolling week most traded price are now equal in the Nasdaq. That's ultimate balance. Okay, the most people have traded over the last month and the week have traded at that price. So if we really extend above it, you're gonna kill a lot of shorts. If you really extend below it, you're gonna kill a lot of longs. It's really the tipping point. Okay, very, very important level. And you can see the profile over the last week. This is the composite volume profile. You can see there's the volume is skewed to the downside. You would say this is a bearish imbalance. This is skewed bearish because if you completed the profile, it's going to look like this to the downside. Okay, that would be one into the bears court. However, if as long as we stay above this level here, as long as we hang out above it and every attempt below it is met with buying, we're going to go higher. Okay, so that's how important these levels are. Now, what's the beauty of this is you can see it. This is real-time trading hours, so it is the most traded price of the month and the week, and you can see the profiles and the time spent here. But when you really look at this, when you really want to see it, add the overnight sessions in there, and you'll really see why it is the most traded price. Now I'm bringing in the overnight sessions in, and you can really see how much this price has had action. That's how much that price has been seen. Okay. Now I'm going to go back over to the ES. This is the overnights. This is back with the overnight session. Okay. Now the most traded price of the month is still down here in the ES. It has not moved yet. That is 40.30. Okay. It's 40.30. All right. So what are we going to look at now? So we're going to look at where we're at now. Okay. Now you can see, I'm going to make this bigger so I don't want to lose everything, but we just want to look at the structure. Now nice and big. All right, let's see if we can get that all in. All right, that's telling me that NASDAQ just hit supply. I just got my alert. Okay, but let's just look at this. Okay, so again, what's important is this level. 41.25 is the level you want to keep your eye on. Okay, so we know that. Now, here's yesterday's high. Here's yesterday's low. Okay, now notice we got some single prints, right, in the overnight session. So you kind of have two different distributions here. Okay, so here's the overnight high. The overnight high breached the yesterday's high, and then we have the overnight low. Okay, so let's take this down a second here. Okay, so now that you see this, again, we have a new demand zone here too as well, and we're over monthly VWAP. So this is kind of like, and now one thing I want you guys to notice too, this is very important. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but I want to make this clear. The market closed here. Okay, so the overnight session started. It has not got any selling since the open. What I mean by that is no one has been short below the close. Everybody is long. It's 100% net long inventory. Okay, that's very important to note. Okay, very, very important to note. And we had a very large volume point of control yesterday, and I believe it was another prominent POC. So let me see if I can split this out and see. Yeah, the POC is right here, and it hit it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Okay, remember I talked about that the other day. Okay, so this is a very key target too for today. Now, reason why I'm talking about the 100% net inventory is everybody's long, right? Now look at the volume profile of the overnight. Look at how skinny all this volume is, right? Then we have single prints, and it's skewed to the upside, right? A normal profile will look like this, you know? So, one or two things can happen from here, right? This is more like a bull flag. Now, however, though, this is part where this is where market profile shines, okay? Because we're overnight inventory is 100% net long. Now, what I would like to see is a push up, okay, into this supply. Okay, so that means everybody's long. If you, and now this is the most traded price of the overnight right here. Okay, if you do this, come up, and you start to come back down, and you go below this, people are gonna short. I mean, not people are gonna short. I mean, that would be a nice short because you're gonna put everybody who was long from here in the overnight in pain. In their weak hands, it's overnight, and you're gonna come right back down to here. So that's one trade that I'm looking at. Okay, one trade that I really like is a push up. Now also, I have to understand psychology here. Let's say the market closed way down here yesterday. So if you're in a stock and you're like, oh my god, like you're not confident in this market and you see strength, you might take profits. If we get a push up, let's say you're in any stock, Tesla, whatever, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take some profits. Well, that's going to cause this move to go down. And then the overnight players who have all been long the volume up here are going to get hurt. And then you're going to get a nice move back in this demand zone, or you're going to target the most traded price of yesterday. Okay, so that's something I will definitely be looking for. Okay. Now, it can go the other way. Okay, so now that you have a lot of volume here, it's got a bullish imbalance. So that means it's got room for the upside, right? Because volume's holding it up. Okay, so if we get a strong market off the open, you know, you'd want to see, the profile extend out. So you you'd have to go in up here, break the supply, and hold up here to get the move higher. Okay. For me, that's less I want to be long that way, but that's one way, right? So my other long scenario would be, guess where we're going to go with this one? 41.25. That's the ultimate line, right? So even if we push up, come down like I said, you could push out of this demand zone, hold it, and that's your long. You can even come down here, whip down, come across, that's your long. And I'm hoping this is making sense, okay, to everyone. So that's clear. That short is very clear. That long is very clear. Hold this level, you know. I mean, it's very simple psychology. It's in the beginning when I started trading, you don't understand it like that. You look at candlesticks, you watch price action, um, but it's all psychology, right? If everybody's long overnight, just like I said before, everyone's long. Every overnight player is long. Most volume up here. You come up here, you take profits, and then if you take profits in the combination of people who are still long, they're going to get crushed. Guess same thing though, right? If you're someone who shorts from here and you're shorting, just like I spoke of, right? You have monthly view up, then you have a demand zone, and you get down to this level where has been supportive, you're going to take your profit here. Some late shorts are going to try to push it, and if they get trapped when we do this, well, then the play is back long, right? That's how it works. So the scenario is no different in the NASDAQ. It's the same. Same scenario. 100% net long. Same thing. They're long right here. Everybody's long. And you're at the top of the range here. Supply here, but I think that might have got taken out. But then you push up here. You look for yesterday's highs. You got supply up here. And if the market's not super, super strong, let's say it's like it's moving up, but internals are not saying it's that strong, then we start calling back down. And we got single prints from yesterday in the NASDAQ. Okay. So, same thing. Come up here short. You come down. Again, you could even do this. Come down, single prints, clean them out. Come back to this most traded price of the month and of the week in the NASDAQ. Okay. And can't try to go below it, come back over it, that's your long, right? Now, of course, today, I can't not say it. If we breach this, I should have said that before. If we breach this big level, I mean, I gotta see it like this taken out, like this level. I have to see like this to really, and then come back. That's when we take them out. That's when the short's there. Same thing in the ES. Okay. All right. I think that's gonna be it for me. Um, hope everybody enjoyed that. But remember that first short. Okay. That first short. That's a fade. You you'd like to see a little movement up, come through back the open, and then you can short it. Okay. It's not the easiest trade though. All right. So wish everybody luck today. Give me a comment, like, or subscribe. Share with anybody else, please. I'm trying to build this thing, and oh, thanks, Colby. Stay green today. Try to stay green. Try to be smart. Try to be patient. Don't let price seduce you, because I've been seduced plenty of times. So you got to be patient. It's easier said than done. Okay, but that's the game plan for today. All right. So we'll have to watch the market, see what's strong, what's weak. Okay, because once that market opens, it's a whole different ball game. All right. I will do a market update if I see something again. Okay. Remember that fade. Okay. Remember that fade. So I'm really gonna be looking at that. All right. All right, guys. Take it easy. And girls.